Historically, the relationship between America and its Afro-descendant population hasn't been the greatest, to say the least. When Black Americans highlight this reality, they're sometimes met with very dismissive comments, perhaps the most notorious being, "Go back to Africa." This is offensive for various reasons, but in my opinion, there's one principal reason why. Let's talk about it. What up, African world? It's Home Team here, and welcome back to another video of African history, culture, and worldview. By supporting this channel on Patreon, you're helping in the creation of these videos and contributing to this content. The link to Patreon is in the description box below. Also, stay tuned with the word from my sponsors.
Hello, my name is Howard Dorsey. I'm 54 years old. I'm here to talk about my experience with herbal results. I was getting sick, so I went to the doctor. They told me that my blood pressure was high, my cholesterol was borderline or high, so I was very sick. You know, sometimes I thought I was dying at some point. And I ordered a bottle of olive leaf extract. This is how the bottle comes in. And within the first probably week and a half, 2 weeks, I checked my blood pressure and it was back down to normal. It was like 120/80. My cholesterol went down to 125. You know, I definitely believe that olive leaf extract from Herbal Results saved my life. And that's real. I mean, I recommend it to everyone in my family, my friends, and we've seen a lot of results in that manner as well.
Purchase now at herbalresults.net.
To begin, this video is not designed to be a complaint or grievance of American society. Moreover, the purpose is not an attempt to convince any particular group of people. The video is simply setting the record straight, if you will, concerning Black America's contributions, highlighting an often neglected perspective of critical American historical facts, especially in light of the recent celebration of Memorial Day, the upcoming celebration of Juneteenth, and the 4th of July. Admittedly, I haven't heard anyone as of late say, "Go back to Africa." However, throughout my earlier years, it seemed more of a common theme. Even as a child, I thought it was the most ridiculous thing anyone could say given the assumption of genuine dialogue. The question I had was, why would Black Americans go back to Africa when so much was contributed and so much was built on American soil by said group? I think Dr. Claude Anderson puts it best. Ironically, no other racial or ethnic group in America has demonstrated the long-term patriotism of Blacks. Blacks are the only non-white people to have fought in defense of America in every military conflict since the country's beginning. Blacks have fought in armed conflicts against the mother countries of most of the ethnic immigrants now in America. An official website by the US government echoes Dr. Claude Anderson's sentiments. Black service members have fought in every single American conflict. The U.S. Army History Office estimates around 5,000 warriors in the American Revolution were Black. These men served in the artillery, the infantry, as laborers, and even musicians. Perhaps the most important war America has ever fought was the one for its very existence, the American Revolutionary War. Though Black men's participation was both voluntary and involuntary, their motivation was centered around the same advertised American values: freedom and liberty. The American Revolution has been heralded throughout U.S. history as a momentous event, an era when oppressed colonists freed themselves from the bonds of England's tyranny and gained their independence once and for all. For people of African descent, however, the response to American independence was always more complex. For them, it was an era in which the contradiction and hypocrisy of slavery was exposed, but in the end, slavery still emerged victorious throughout most of the nation. Even so, African American men fought valiantly in the war in hopes that their loyalty would earn them freedom and equality. Even if we ignore the fact that the enslavement of African peoples boosted the speed in which America became a powerhouse, Black American men in particular contributed to the very founding of America. I'm reminded of two Black Americans in the Revolutionary War, Prince Whipple and the American hero Salem Poor. Documented for the world to see, Prince Whipple may have been illustrated here for the world to see. Ironically, George Washington decreed that black men could not participate in the Revolutionary War. However, in practice, the rule was relaxed. Despite his directive, Washington conveniently ignored the color of his warriors. The general had issued the first directive on November 11, 1775, and here on Christmas night of 1776, Prince Whipple was crossing the Delaware with his chief. In pursuit of liberty and freedom, black Americans fought with the British as well. At the very least, this accounts for the varying levels of agency afforded to black men during this time. One of the most noteworthy American heroes of the Revolutionary War was a black American named Salem Poor. Salem Poor was one of the Minutemen at the famous Battle of Bunker Hill in Massachusetts. Salem Poor fought so bravely that 14 officers petitioned the Massachusetts General Court to recognize Poor for his bravery in the battle. They declared on December 5, 1775, that while under fire, Salem Poor behaved like an experienced officer as well as an excellent soldier. In the person of this said Negro enters a brave and gallant soldier. According to the Encyclopedia of African American History, of the roughly 4,000 American patriots present at Bunker Hill, no one else, white or black, received this honor. In 1820, Representative Charles Pinckney of South Carolina gave a great distillation regarding the contributions of black American men to the founding of America. His words single-handedly delegitimized the Go Back to Africa narrative. They were then, as they still are, as valuable a part of our population to the Union as any other equal number of inhabitants. They were in numerous instances pioneers in all the labors of our armies. To their hands were owing the erection of the greatest part of the fortifications raised for the protection of our country, some of which, particularly Fort Moultrie, gave at the early period of the inexperienced and untried valor of our citizens immortality to American arms, and in the northern states, numerous bodies of them were enrolled into and fought by the sides of the whites, the battles of the Revolution. Black Americans are intrinsically tied to American soil and were most certainly one of the critical pieces in America's founding. Even though this is not the only contribution black Americans made to the country, it's certainly one of the most important. The Go Back to Africa narrative is simply unsustainable if we are to advance proper historical perspectives. Well, I'm all, guys. If you like these videos and want to help in its continued production, consider supporting the home team on patreon.com. The link is in the description box below. Know thyself. Remember your ancestors. Peace.